Okay, let's talk some Ballon d'Or then. In our pod before the Ballon d'Or, I think there was an assumption, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was an assumption that Vinny was going to get it.
Yeah.
That was what every Real Madrid fan's response was in the comments. Oh, just wait till Monday when Vinny Jr. gets the Ballon d'Or. Just wait till Monday. Well, we waited, and it didn't happen. As Buga said in our chat, football won. I think if you're not a Madrid fan, that's probably how you felt, right? Is that justice was served. Surely you can't have someone who is such a poor sport with, again, to remind everybody the criteria, individual performances, decisive and impressive character, team performances and achievements, class, and fair play. When I think of Vinny Jr., I don't think of class and fair play. Am I wrong? Am I off base here? Do you think that last criteria is what maybe lost it for him?
Very well could be, John. Very well could be. This year was fascinating. If I'm not wrong in saying, was this the first year UEFA had it or something, or that they were in control of the ceremony and through France Football, of course? And it meant that, or that it was the year that France Football decided we're not going to tell people until the day. Or was it maybe UEFA criteria? I'm not sure why I felt like I heard that. Maybe that was a criteria you just read out. But the fact that we didn't know it until the day, obviously, it meant that people just assumed. It meant that people just assumed. Yeah.
Just to interrupt, and I know people hate when we interrupt each other. We hear you in the comments. We're trying. But just a quick Google. In November of 23, UEFA and the owner of companies of France Football and L'Equipe announced a partnership that would co-organize the Ballon d'Or from 2024.
Yes.
So this was the first time that UEFA and France Football Association are both together in producing this.
Exactly, that's it. And that meant we didn't know who the winner was going to be until the day, which obviously in previous years we've known months before.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Real Madrid have pressurized on the day, or they've heard murmurings, ooh, hang on a minute, you aren't going to be winning this. Because it was on the Monday that they've obviously, ready to board their jets and whatnot. And they've said, well, Vinny's not going to be winning it, mate. And I think it's incredible that the whole team then backs out. The whole team backs out. But maybe we'll get into that in just a moment. I mean, first of all, Vinicius, I'm happy he didn't win it. I don't think he was stand out enough beyond Rodri for it to be an outrage that he hasn't won it. I rate Vinicius Jr. highly. I think he pops up in big moments, which I think is one of his best assets as a footballer. I think he does deliver. He isn't scared of a big occasion, a Champions League final or final. He will step up for Real Madrid. He's the guy I look to for Real Madrid. It's still not Mbappe. It's still Vinicius as to he's going to make the difference. But he isn't a winger, John, who scores 30 goals a season, who gets 20 assists a season, who has just blown everyone away. He's a winger who gets, 15 goals in the league a season? And I agree, there is so much more to Vinicius Jr. than the goals. He can take out 4 players at the game, set someone up, they have a shot or rebound, and it goes in, and he's made the whole move for Real Madrid. But he isn't a winger who's got those numbers that you say, oh, we have to give it to this guy because he's just that good. So I think the reaction was really ugly of what we've seen towards Rodri in particular. I think Rodri had a really good argument to win it in 2023 when he wins a treble with City, the Nations League with Spain, and scores the winning goal in the Champions League final. I thought he was immaculate for City. But this year, he wins the Euros with Spain. He wins the Player of the Tournament. Wrongly so. I think it was Fabian, but he won the Player of the Tournament. And of course, he wins the league again with City, and he was absolutely superb. And he is a wonderful footballer, Rodri, and he does deserve the Ballon d'Or, I think, as well, in a time where there aren't really many standout winners, because we're having this problem where we're thinking, does anyone here really deserve it? But if there was someone, Rodri class, on and off the pitch, deserves it for me. And that point about class and fair play, I think I heard someone say, Vinicius Jr. doesn't just lose to Rodri on that, he loses to everyone on that point.
I can't think of a player, and some of this I'll say is because Vinny Jr. is on the big stage, he gets a spotlight. I can't think of a player that behaves more poorly than Vinny Jr. I really can't. Even if I go back the days of Diego Costa, there's a difference between shithousery
Yeah.
and just being a baby, being an absolute crybaby.
Yeah.
And that's Vinny Jr. There's plenty of shithousery, but it's done in this like immature, just whiny, flamboyant, showboating kind of way where it's so off-putting. He does amazing things on the pitch. He does incredible things. Just like you said, he shows up in big matches.
Yeah.
Hat trick in the final, right? He does big boy things, but then he behaves like a little baby on top of it, and it just completely spoils it. So I would be very curious how many Vinny Jr. fans there are that aren't Madrid supporters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus how many people are fans of a Lamine Yamal who aren't actually Barcelona supporters?
Yeah.
How many fans are there of a Nico Williams? How many fans are there of, I think of a player like Heung-min Son, right? There's all sorts of people who love watching him play because of the way that he plays the game, the attitude that he brings. That you're not going to support Tottenham, but you can enjoy watching Son play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of players like that I think the world of football can get behind. You know, a Mo Salah comes to mind. I know that one might sting a little bit for you, Pablo, but a Mo Salah comes to mind. Someone that is truly a respectable player. Luka Modric. Luka Modric is the antithesis of a Vinny Jr. There was a clip going around the internet where it was a side-by-side comparison of, who was it? Kimmich trying to give the ball to Vinny Jr. and Vinny's just being a complete ass about it, letting it drop, taking it, letting it drop again, rolling it off of it. And then when people redid that as the Ballon d'Or trophy being hit, that was amazing. But anyway, the side-by-side then was Frankie de Jong and Modric battling it out a little bit. Frankie hands him the ball, Modric takes it, gives him a pat on the back, like respect, that kind of thing. Yeah. That is supposed to be part of the game. You're professional footballers. You should have respect for each other. You should have some level of respect for the supporters, whether they're your supporters or not. Again, I get it. He gets a lot of abuse that shouldn't be there. That's not an excuse to behave the way that he behaves for me.
No. Yeah.
You could take a cue from 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, just winking and laughing it off.
Yeah. I think that's what's let Vinicius Jr. down. You made the point about Real Madrid. I wonder if they're getting frustrated with Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid, because I think there's a point. I don't know. I don't know if Florentino Perez is a fan of this show. You know, Florentino Perez does not strike me as a guy who sees this nonsense on the pitch and goes, "I enjoy that." I don't know if he does. I really don't know if he does. I think he likes that. He knows he can't sell Vinicius, but I think if he could give him a good smack, he would.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of Real Madrid players think that as well. I think we may have said it on the podcast when it was about the Atletico Madrid when they were throwing the lighters at Courtois and whatnot, and Rudiger and Modric were talking to the referee, and overshots Vinicius Jr. and the face and the reaction of Modric and Rudiger was like, "Oh, here he comes, the fucking clown! Just stay at left wing and shut up. Why are you running over here? You're on the other end of the pitch. Shut up and score." And he was running over, pretty desperate to be hit by one so he could make like a big protest, you know. And I think this has let him down. If this isn't a really big, he's a young guy, Vinicius, John. If this isn't a big wake up call, it won't be because I know how he is. But it should be a big wake up call to be like, yeah, I don't think you are incredible. I think if you won the Ballon d'Or, there were almost every previous winner is a better footballer than you. But in a year where there aren't many standout footballers, you could have easily won it this year, definitely. But because of your just stupidity, you haven't really. And I think that's just, a lot of journalists would have watched Vinicius and just gone, clown. Yeah. And he does it every week in Spain. It's also a problem in Spain where I think they're scared to send him off because of the racism issue, which Vinicius has rightly, pointed out on occasions. But I think referees are scared of sending Vinicius off because of what will happen to them. There'll be repercussions to the referees, but he deserves it, John, because He shouts in fourth officials' faces. He laughs and claps the referees when he's on a yellow card, which for any other player in the league is a second yellow card. The thing with Kimmich, the clip, how is that not a yellow card? Because that is a yellow card where Kimmich gives him the ball, he drops it, gives him it again, rolls it away. Okay, easy yellow for you. That's like, you're making my job easy, thanks. That's what the referee should say, and they don't do it. They don't do it because I think they're scared. I think if they know they do that, he'd go, everyone, watch this guy who just gave me a yellow card. And yeah. I'm happy that he hasn't won it for all of this nonsense that we've seen in the last year. He's let himself down ultimately.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would hope that the people around him that give him support, that want to see him be the best version of himself, that this is that wake-up call. That, hey, literally, if you just stop the nonsense, if you focus on the football, you can be seen as the best in the world. And now that he's kind of dug himself this hole, people love a comeback story. People love now an underdog rising above, right?
Yeah.
So if he would just stop with the antics, play football, right? I think he would be seen in a much better light. Cool. And there's no stopping him. He's an amazing footballer. I would love to be a fan of Vinny Jr. I really would. I don't like not enjoying good football. Yeah. I don't like not enjoying the beautiful game being expressed in fun ways, right? But it's the other side. It just spoils it for me. I can't enjoy it. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, it
to your
takes
point,
it all away.
I can think of a handful of players on Real Madrid that, of course, speculating, would have a problem with that. And maybe one is Jude Bellingham.
Ooh.
Maybe Jude is having a rough season because he's sitting there going, what have I signed myself up for? I was coming here for the prestige of Real Madrid, and everyone's just looking at this ass clown doing what he's doing over here. And meanwhile, this and that. Like, I could see that getting in his head and being a big distraction there. I don't know if it's...
Oh, yeah. There's what we did predict, and it wasn't a unique prediction. It was a prediction that everyone was talking about after the Mbappe signing, but it is ringing true at Real Madrid, is just the mountain of egos and too many players squashed into like one position, one zone. Bellingham on the pitch is struggling massively. He's struggling massively this season because I've said it before, he's a poacher. He's like a false nine now, Bellingham, and he can't play in that role anymore. He's having to play as like a deep lying, like Modric position. He's not good at that. I'm sorry. Despite what Bulgar Luis will tell me, he's not good at that. Anymore anyway. He's adapted. He's a different midfielder, and he's a one-touch finisher in the box. Bellingham, he's very good at it, but he's not very good at other things. And he's struggling. I think he'll struggle, John, because he had such a good breakout season at Real Madrid. Where was he in the Ballon d'Or? Was he fourth or fifth or third? Was he even?
This year?
He was third, I think, wasn't he? Yeah, Bellingham was third. And I think that hurts, and that comes to the point of Real Madrid as a club deciding not to go because Vinicius gets second, I think is wrong. I think it's wrong for a few reasons. Even if that was the only award Real Madrid as a club were up for, was that their player was going to come second, I think they should go anyway. But you've got Bellingham third. You've got Dani Carvajal fourth. Carvajal will never be in the Ballon d'Or race again. What a brilliant moment for him. Champions League winner, scores a goal in the final. European Championship winner with his country, Spain. Fourth in the Ballon d'Or. Carvajal has to be at this awards ceremony. Carlo Ancelotti may never win Coach of the Year again. One of the great coaches we've seen in the 21st century. Why is he not at the awards ceremony? And Real Madrid win Club of the Year. Why are they not at the awards ceremony? Because Vinicius Jr. came second. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. Do you think Ancelotti deserved the Coach of the Year? Because I saw a lot of shouts that it should have been Xabi Alonso for what he did with Leverkusen.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I know the way these awards work. If you win the Champions League, you win Coach of the Year, and he's won Champions League in La Liga, so I just accept it, But Alonso did an amazing job with Leverkusen. It was probably more standout because Ancelotti has won before with Real Madrid, but maybe that's a victim of his own success.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But just to validate what you're saying, Vinny Jr. was 2, Bellingham was 3, Carvajal 4, then Erling Haaland, number 5 there.
You've got three.
I think
You've got three of the top four. That is something to be proud of as a club. And they go, you haven't won, then fuck off. We're not going. That's a snarky mentality. Like, I know people don't. You know me. I'm obsessed with trophies and stuff. But in the Ballon d'Or, there is some pride to be said of people. I've been voted as the second best player in the world. Well, I've been voted as the third, fourth best player in the world. That is a brilliant achievement. Like, it's not quite like when you lose a final and it's like, obviously no one wants the silver medal, but in this it sort of is like a special moment where you go. And for Real Madrid to go, we've got three of the four best players in the world this season. Best believe we'll be at that ceremony. Best believe we'll be at that ceremony. Like,
I'm 100% with you. Like the image of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta together up on that stage. Yes, none of you got the first place Ballon d'Or, but you want that photo.
Yeah.
Right? You want that opportunity to celebrate, to say, look at what our club has done.
Yeah.
And they won other awards. That's the other thing. It's like, yeah, you won Team of the Year. You got Coach of the Year. You got three of the four top spots. Why are you not here?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not a good look, that, John, at all, though. I mean, you have to think, what would the family, what would Jude Bellingham's mum and dad think? Taking him all those weeks in rainy England to all those classes just to not go to a Ballon d'Or ceremony when their son has got third best player in the world, won the Champions League and won La Liga as the team's top scorer, not the guy in La Liga who won them so many points because some baby has come second. I don't know, I don't think their parents will be happy with that. His parents and Carlo Ancelotti, would he be happy with that? I don't know who made that decision, but it's an odd one to me.
I would be curious if that was maybe a democratic decision, if players voted, if Ancelotti or Perez just made the decision on their own. I can't imagine it would be just up to Ancelotti to make that decision. So I would think either Perez and or the players made that call.
I'm guessing it's Perez plus pressure from the Vinicius Jr. camp saying this is an outrage and we need to make a statement that this is an outrage.
Yeah. And have you ever seen, like, I saw a lot of players from other clubs then make posts kind of in support of Vinny. I don't remember a year in the past where there's been a winner that got so much, I'll say, disrespect.
Yeah, no.
After getting it. So
wrong as well for a player like Rodri, you know? For what he's done, for a DM to win the Ballon d'Or, is like, we don't see that, you know? Like, we need to like cherish that. And he does deserve it for like what he's done, you know, for Man City and Spain and whatnot. And he's a brilliant player, and the way he holds himself as well. Like, for people to be like claiming this was an outrage is really disrespectful to everything he's done as well.